Good morning, everyone. It's lovely to see talented faces around, and it's a pleasure having you both on the stage. We like to welcome Mr. Iwa and Dr. Azad Najjar. Sorry, my pronunciation is not that good. I think what we achieved is amazing in a short time, especially aiming to this direction for technologies and encouragement. There are questions always being asked about the policies and steps and how we can move forward. So my question would be for you, what key policies reforms that the KRG currently trying to work on to encourage the technology and innovation?
Thank you so much, first of all, for having me. A warm welcome and good morning to the distinguished audience. I would start by emphasizing on the importance of a significant shift that we witnessed in this government cabinet, and that was probably the most significant policy shift was to embrace the technology as essential and necessary to be at the heart of the government, to create something like a GovTech agency and choose a central entity within government to drive innovation. See, citizens expect the same level of services from the government the way they are delivered to them from private sector. And for that to happen, it means government needs to have private sector-like capabilities, technical capabilities. And this is why you have a GovTech agency in Singapore, for example, and that's why you have GDS in the UK. So choosing the IT and empowering the IT to be able to drive innovation and applying technology to governance was the biggest shift. We have three pillars, I would say. First, digital identity. Digital identity for everything. UPNs for people, unique entity numbers for businesses, tax. So basically, you need to assign identities and keys to everything you want to manage. Then we have shared platforms, which means once you have the systems developed, you need to make the systems available to other systems, but especially the private sector, and I will come back to that. And then you have to create rules of games with strategy. How can businesses become your partner? How will you create an environment where everyone is agreement? And these were the most important things. So we started by, under directives of His Excellency Prime Minister Mr. Barzani, we established a digital population information system. We started in 2019. Today, more than 2.5 million people have digital identities assigned to them. Most of them don't know it yet because it has not been brought to these fingertips of citizens yet. So we first started by, for businesses, they have digital IDs, they got unique entity number. For people, you have unique personal numbers. And in the system that we develop one after another, these are common identifiers for everything. Because this is how you can exchange information for the greater good. And with KRG Pass, that's not properly even announced it because it's still being developed, but over 350,000 people are using KRG Pass as we speak. I encourage you to download and use it so you can see your companies there. So basically, the KRG Pass, very similar to UAE Pass, those who are familiar with, or SIM Pass from Singapore, or Bank ID of Sweden. It will bring the power of digital, the benefit of digital identity to your fingertips. How it aligns internationally with the best practices. We are following the footsteps of countries like Estonia, Singapore, UAE, and the wider transformation strategy articulated and announced by His Excellency Prime Minister in 2022. It aligns perfectly well in terms of interoperability, citizen centricity, and creating a single entry portal for for citizens, which aligns perfectly with the UN e-government best practices and OECD.
I will stay with you just to go with the flow. We also find that government usually, not specifically any country, government organization, they are not always advanced in movement and providing services. That's why most of the countries, they're trying to move away from the government to join a partnership with the private sector. So my question is, you have that aim to, rather than you do all in-house, are you looking to have a partnership with local companies and foreign companies to encourage and provide the best service? That's part of your...
As you know,
Yeah, sorry, again, what you
you want me to continue?
Yeah, please.
I wasn't sure. So basically, if you look at countries who succeeded in digital transformation, you realize that the lion's share of the services goes to private sector, not government. But it is important that the government provides the core registries. There are certain things that should remain in the control of the government, and then based on that, you can start creating the environment for private sector to come in. So we are moving from, as it is the case with the successful countries, you need to move from transactional IT, where a big company comes, does something, dump it there and goes away and it's not sustainable, to create a long-term strategic partnership with these companies. And how you do that? It is that you create, basically you need to provide the government as platform to companies, meaning you have core registry, should say, you provide KYC, citizen KYC as a platform to companies. You provide verification check and establishment status of a company as a service to the company, which we do using the business registration system. And then you also make sure that in this landscape, the local companies have a role to play. I can give you a very good example of something that we're doing recently. In our land registry system, we have partnered with an international company, and then they realized that, we are sitting on top of hundreds of millions of historical data or papers, ownership of lands, and these papers need to be scanned. So most of them are actually handwritten. So there was no way for the international company to come in and make sense of handwritten documents, even though the international companies, AI, and so on. Then we realized that a certain local company with a solution, like modified an AI solution, modified for Kurdish handwritten texts and trained on that, can plug in. This is how you create an environment where international companies, private companies, and governments all work together to make sure that the citizens are the winner. So it's about making sure government, from a technical point of view, is also as capable as a private company, so that you can create an environment where investors, international companies, and foreign companies can actually find it lucrative and interesting to step in.
I totally agree. Privatization never works. It's a partnership and the government ownership of any system with the cooperation of the private sector. That's the best model being implemented. I totally agree. I'll come to Dr. It's a sort of new establishment and there's a vision for it. Can you explain to us what's your vision for the next 3-5 years and how you've measured your success within every calendar year? What's the procedures?
Before I start, I will say good morning to everyone. I'm happy to be here. So to start innovation in Kurdistan, it wasn't easy. It was we faced a lot of challenges because we didn't have a culture for innovation. So the first thing we started to promote the culture of innovation in different ways and build up the element that it needs in order to make a successful innovation system here. And with the support of His Excellency, like we could achieve a lot of good milestones in this direction. So we have policy for the next 5 years. We have like 8 goals to achieve. And the goals as establish an innovation hub. We need to make a space for everyone, talented, young, any individual can come to KI and will support them, and researcher as well. So this is what we need to do as one of the goals. The second goal is to advance technological development. We have defined 5 strategic areas within the renewable energy, agriculture, automation, transportation, and health. So this will be in the next, we focus on these, but if anyone come with idea beyond these strategic area, we support as well. But we found there's a need for these areas to focus on them. And we need to support Kurdish innovators as well. So we make a home for the innovators. We give them all the support that they needed. And the fourth goal is to create job opportunity for the younger generation by establishing businesses beyond these innovations. This innovation just not really want to make innovation to make a product and stay there. We are going to build the companies, factories, in order to let our people getting jobs and feel better, because we have a lot of many students, they when graduate, they cannot find a job easily. The third strategic area that we will focus on it in the next coming 5 years is to foster an innovation-driven culture. So we went to the schools to promote the students. We established a school, KI Innovation School program. And now the program has been approved by His Excellency and by the Minister of Education. Now we're starting to have a class in every school to promote innovation, and it went very well when we did a pilot study in one of the schools. And we went to the university as well. We started to teach them how to innovate. The next strategic area that we decided to strengthen global and local partnership and PPP. We are like open to any collaboration. We have a KI program, KI, like we call it KI Connect. We want to connect us with national and international partners in order to support us in this mission. So the other one is help to make the IP system to be effective in Kurdistan and in Iraq, because it's a big dilemma that many people coming to us, they cannot protect their ideas, and the system, the law in Iraq is very weak in that direction. We need to make changes here together with the Baghdad. So the last one, we want to even promote using of AI. So we are going to make courses, make to other people use AI to increase the efficiency of their job, to shorten the time for the development of anything. So this is our goals for the next 5 years. It's a lot, but we need to do them. We cannot wait more, because we want to rise Kurdistan to another level in the field of technology. How to monitor this? How to see? We put numbers. We put numbers on each goals. When you have numbers, you can compare how much you have achieved. So you have decided so many job opportunities you will try to find to get that people to have a job. Numbers with so many companies we have established. Well, this way we can easily monitor our efficiency and our job.
Thank you very much. Back to you. usually the cooperation between the private and the government sector, there is a formula. How you balance that relation with the private sector? And you talked about so much data. If there's any plan to establish a hub and data center, because as you know, on average, each individual person generates around 50 to 100 gigabytes of data every day without even realizing it. And if you have no a sensors to collect these data, this is waste of, what we call it in AI, waste of money. That's all we have. Billions is just done. And to do this is two steps: how to collect these data, store it, and then benefit from it as a government, as a private sector. You can give them a better service back. What's your approach for this? What's your plan?
I'm sorry. It was too loud. See, when we started in 2019, first of all, data is generated, data is around us. Whatever we do could be collected. Kurdistan didn't have, especially Iraq as a whole, is not a country where international big companies have a footstep here. So you do not have Azure, you do not have AWS, you do not have Google Cloud to benefit from these services, so that you can easily use processing power. Our priority at the beginning of this cabinet was, first of all, how can we quickly fix the most urgent problems of the government? So what you mentioned would be like a state kind of looking ahead of us. But right now, we had to establish first government's data center. We did that in 2022. The Prime Minister announced that. So we have a TUC data center, but that data center is used to power most important core government services. The population information system is run from the company registration system, is run from the payroll management systems, border control systems, tax systems, everything, land registry will be powered from there. So right now we are more focused on how we can bring these systems online. While we use this application, of course, tremendous amount of data is being generated, is being collected. As we speak, we have established an AI and data team where we look into data warehousing and how we can benefit from predictive analytics instead of being reactive to it. So I would say, as of now, Iraq as a whole, including Kurdistan, we are not actually properly monitoring and collecting all the data that flows around us because there are so many systems developed. A certain amount of data is with private sector, not even with government. The real data, as it is in the US, in Europe, even in China, the real data is not with government. And that's why it's South Africa. And that's why the biggest AI developer is not the government. It's Google, it's Meta, it's Apple, because they have more data. Actually, government depends on private sector for the AI application. As the large language models were not developed by government. They were developed by companies. So more and more citizen data is in the hands of the private sector. We have representatives from, for example, telecoms here, for example, Core Telecom or the others. The amount of the data that they have from the citizens, we don't have. So we have data about the customers' day-to-day interactions, and because not so many services are now, it's not that big. So there need to be, before anything else, and that's what we aim to establish in the coming months, there will be, and I'm announcing it here, that His Excellency Ari Barzani will be announcing an AI Institute. And that AI Institute will be calling for a national conference on AI. Why is it important? Because that conference will also articulate an AI strategy. And AI strategy without a sound data strategy is nothing. And that data strategy will be answering most of the questions that we just articulated.
Well, I'll go back on commenting on what you said. You referred to Google and others internationally. They became successful because there's a platform set by regulators, through the government, allowing them to operate and to be so successful. Do we have that in KRG or in Iraq? If it's not, is there any plan to set up these regulations so allowing for private company like myself and many to come in and plug into their system and grow? I think that's very important for.
We've had rounds of interactions with both Google and Microsoft on establishing private data centers in Kurdistan or commercialized data centers in Kurdistan. The biggest problem was not investor-friendly law from our side or our support. They have our support all the time. Problem with Iraq is that, first of all, Iraq is not stable enough. Data centers require a huge amount of money to flow in for them to be successful. So the business case is not there. They don't know if establishing, let us say, you're establishing a regional data center in the UAE or in Qatar. The business case is there because a lot of businesses are focused there, so they use it. When we at our department, when we want to use a cloud, we look into data centers that are close to us in the UAE and Qatar or around us. So it has been more like the whole political situation in the country that scares away big companies to come and provide you with the commercialized data centers. From our side, I think laws, even if they are not present now, it will not be difficult or an obstacle. Our investment law is extremely investor-friendly. It gives huge incentives with regards to regulations and taxes. But it's the country as a whole need to stabilize for foreign investment to not to be scared to come in. So that's a problem as we speak.
Appreciate it. Regarding your institute and the innovation, is there a plan to, if an inventor or a motivator comes in, and do we have tools to provide fund or encouragement or anything that's been set up to accommodate the visioneer who's coming to join your institute? Do you have any structure for this?
You mean from the people come to us with ideas?
For example, if you visiting school, which is I appreciate that. I think this is a perfect right step to do because for the generation to be successful, you need the education system to cope with what we are living here. If you're teaching something was 50 years ago and still didn't change, you're never going to have a progress. That's why when we live in the education with the private sector, they always synchronize. The education system will read the market, what's the direction, and they will change their syllabus of their teaching based on the direction of the growth. So when you have students, they are motivated and coming through to do things. How do you encourage them? If there's any plans or methods to provide for that?
I came back to Kurdistan from Europe just to have this community, the younger generation. Our asset here in Kurdistan, we have a lot of many talented younger generation. They are very amazing. And we already established a system at our institute to just how to deal with them, how to support them. We have an application, they can apply to our website. We have a team to take care of them. We have mentorships, we mentor them all the steps. We give them fund when according to their needs. what I have seen in many other countries, they just like such institutes in our situation, they just support with fund, with money. But it's not this case. For inventor, they need someone who can guide them through the process of the innovation. This is what we offer to be different from all the other institutions around the world. We even design, go to the technical design to support them. We even create a workshop to make their ideas to be realized as a prototype, as something physical they can see it. We do everything, even when it comes to to get investment to their idea. We try like now to create an investment system that will work and support the innovation. So as I said in the beginning, there's a lot of elements should be there in order to make the system in general to be very successful. And you are working daily with this, and you are offering a lot of support, a lot of help to all people coming to us, and even the ideas that generate from our institute. We even try to make them to be very successful and very exact in order to make the country to rise in good way within the innovations, within the technologies.
Thank you very much. I have a follow-up question. You have in your policy an equal opportunity for female and male young generation to give them both equal chance. Because being from originally from here, we do have a huge talented young generation, and they need nurturing, they need someone guide them. Is that part of your policy to address this issue that the female should? It's not imposing it, but giving an equal opportunity, and even having a female ambassador in your organization to approach, to present a model that everyone can achieve what their dream is. Is that part of your address in your policy?
Yeah, you ask someone who came from Sweden, so we believe in the power of women. In the age between 20 and 30, we have smarter women men. This is my opinion. Maybe many men disagree or right, I don't know. But I believe in the power of women. We have the policy in our institute, we have 50%, so 50% of our employees should be women. 50% in order to create the mechanism of making everything to be perfect. So we support everyone, regardless to the religion, regardless to regarding gender, every other thing. So we are just like try to promote this region, not just Kurdistan, we even want to promote the entire Middle East. Because we know how to innovate. We have knowledge now. We know how to start it. We know how to make this country to be amazing.
That's great to know. And if it's not there yet, but I encourage you to have a female ambassador on your panel, it will help to show on your committee that everything is possible.
Next year will be a women year.
I can recommend you actually being here for a few days. I'll come back to you finally. You know, the biggest problem we have, not particularly here, but in Middle East, the bureaucracy of the government's process, delays, and that's why technology is very important, to smooth that out. If I have a project I want to do, if I spend all my time thinking, how can I achieve it? I will forget the project itself, because I'm busy with running. Do we have are we there, or are we going that direction to remove all this bureaucracy? So a company from foreign or even local, they want to have an idea, they have a product, and they want to get into the market. Can they approach you easily without going through the hurdle?
So, you know, governments, I once heard from a Google executive, he said, they think governments are way more complicated than any international company such as Microsoft or Google. The government on average provides close to between 300 to 500 services to citizens. And you want to apply technology to all of these, it means it requires multiple government cabinets with a national agenda that traverses these political turbulences, that changes digitalization from being like a fashion into a real long-term national strategic goal. So, what we want to happen is that you are, I'm sure you're familiar with my term, it would be API state. So a state where all the services are interconnected, so they interoperable between all these registries, they exchange data with each other. It's so seamless that once businesses or citizens provide data with us, they will ask me once principle is so respected that you don't need to ask again for the same data. That the data is securely shared between these platforms in a way that citizens are served without, like, the end state will be, so we have the integration, automation, and innovation in mind, which means that you need to make sure that these systems interoperate in such a way that there is no bureaucracy, first of all, is eliminated from the process, and then you have, with the help of some AI systems, you make sure that you detect fraud, and also you simplify services for citizens, and using predictive analytics, you predict what the citizen needs before even citizen asks for it. Let's say when children are born, the system knows that the father are busy in the hospital with the child, but in the back-end systems know, well, this child is going to need this, and these services are delivered to the parents before even parents ask for it. So, elimination of bureaucracy requires core systems to be digitalized, and that's why I mentioned core systems at the beginning. We as government, we need to provide KYCS platform, which means a small business or a big company comes in, they wanted, let's say an insurance company wants to provide you with insurance. An insurance company should be able to establish itself in Kurdistan without having a physical location. Why? Because an insurance company shouldn't need to meet everyone to do the KYC to provide the services, which means you have the digital ID, digitalized and streamlined, made APIs available for private sector, for businesses, but also for citizens to be able to interact with. And the same goes for other registries such as company registration system, tax, land registry, and so on and so on. So that in order to eliminate bureaucracy, in order to make it so seamless, it means government needs to work powerfully as a company itself, establish these core registries, make it available to private sector, so that the private sector can come with solutions and eliminate bureaucracy also for you. So this is what we are aiming for.
It takes about the original question was the regulation have to be there for these private companies to plug in into your main domain as a government.
Yeah.
Because
you
without
mean from a technology point of view, or from a
regulation point of view.
Yeah.
Because you can't leave, especially in technology, you can't leave it open because the hacking and the security data is extremely sensitive matter.
If you remember at the beginning, I said there are three pillars. I said digital ID, shared infrastructure, and rules of games. The rules of game means that there is a digital transformation strategy that articulates exactly how the private sector is going to work with us, and our investment law needs to be a little bit fine-tuned. If I talk about digital, it needs to be more fine-tuned toward digital and incentivize more digital solution providers to come in and be successful in Kurdistan region. So definitely, I mean, as I said, a lot of work has been done, especially on infrastructure and core systems, and a lot remain to be done in the coming government cabinet. But I'm 100% sure, because His Excellency Prime Minister is going to be heading the next government cabinet. It means a continuation of what we have done in the past, which means we can deliver what we have established in this cabinet. We can bring it to the next cabinet and make sure that the services to the citizens and private sector are streamlined, and also the rules and regulations that you mentioned earlier are being also articulated. And I will take your feedback to my colleagues, especially the investment board, so that they consider it.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And final question, both of you. Considering you are in this sort of a similar space, are you cooperating together as a sharing ideas? Was it coming up with innovations?
We hate each other.
I can see that. Yeah. How do you look at each other?
Victor, first of all, it's a coincidence. I'm German, and I have German and Swedish academic background.
Okay.
And Victor Azat is also a prominent figure in Kurdish diaspora, Sweden. So what I see is that there is a perfect interplay where we develop systems now, we do utilize systems in place, where he looks into the future and what we will be using in future, the others are experimenting with.
The outcome is there. That's very good to know.
Victor's here.
Yeah, like we need to work from different direction. Mr. Hiwa is really doing an amazing job. The most important thing that we will achieve that the digital number for every individual and for the companies. At that time, it will be so easy to achieve whatever we want to achieve in our visions as the two institutes supporting the government, making this country to be prominent in this direction. So this is the most important tool we will have it in the future, even for the company, in order to see how many companies have been established, what they are doing, etc., etc. It's essential to have a digital number for each one. So we are working, Katia was supporting us absolutely, and we are there for anyone who needs support as well. So we are working together.
Thank you very much for your time. It was a lovely conversation. I enjoyed it. I hope the audience, they enjoyed it as well, as I did.
And thank you all for listening to our boring conversation. Hopefully not
I enjoyed it. This is my space, so I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening. We got the guest round of applause for them for their time and efforts.
Thank you.